you have 400 if none of them are the right players for you. So today we're going to learn techniques and strategy. A strategy is invisible, but the results are very visible. If it's so obvious, it's not a strategy. So we need strategy. So let's get this thing going. If you all could do business with any company in the world, I want you all to type in the chat right now. Just dream with me. What is the one company you wish would say, yes, I want to do business with you. I want to pay you money to do what you do. Who is that one company you dream of? What is the one big company? Please type your response in the chat. We're going to give you a few minutes and we're going to look out for some responses. Danola, I'm going to ask you to help us as one of the trained people on this framework. Who do we have? Who do people want to work with?
Eli Lilly, Amazon, Toyota, Hyatt, Annie Class Cassie Foundation, NFL. Oh my gosh.
Love
That's a
it.
good one. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Nicole, there are a couple of people that I have not been able to confirm are members, and so please check your chat so that you can see if I sent you a message to confirm membership.
Me? Okay.
No, not you.
Okay.
Everybody needs to check and make sure I didn't send you a message. CLT Airport, AARP.
Okay.
Health and Wellness Industries got a lot. Microsoft, there's one. Batson Cook.
Oh, yes. Okay, we can keep going. So here's the thing. I'm going to show you how today you're going to be able to book that first call with them. Anybody curious? How would you like to actually book the call? But when you book the call, you say the right thing because you have the right information. Danita, the reason why half of these people don't pay us no attention when we reach out cold turkey the first time is because we have not done the work. There's actually work from getting to where you want to be to where you're trying to be. There's some steps in between that we're missing as small businesses. So we're going to get into this today. So you all, in our previous lesson last month, just to make this connected, we talked all about how big the contracting opportunity market is. Who remembers how big the market is? Feel free to come off mute. Who remembers what I said? Danita?
700 billion.
700 billion plus dollar market. That's what we taught you all last month, right? We taught you how big it was. Nicole, we talked about the fact that there were 4 sectors of contracting. Most of us small businesses don't know that. Like we taught them that there's the corporate sector as sector 1. There's the local sector as sector 2. Local is right there in your backyard. Your city and state, they have billion-dollar budgets to do business with y'all, but they often are the most ignored. Y'all don't even know they're there. Like parks and recreation, Teresa, right? Parks and recreation is one. Museums, local, state universities is another. The state sector and then federal. So we taught all of this last month. But this month, we're getting ready to focus on, now that you understand how big the market is, Nelly, how do I focus? There's so much distraction out there. And if you don't know what Nelly does, she has robotics, right? And they can fit anywhere. That's just the iceberg of what she has. So how can Nelly pinpoint and say, Dawn-Nicole, help me. Who's my best buyer? Let's get into this, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you have to understand how what you offer aligns to the companies. This is the part we don't do because we think you all, just because they have money to spend, that people are just going to spend their money with us. And that's not how it works. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is you got to get clear. This is not the 60-second elevator pitch that I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about when you're in the room or when you send your capability statement or when you send the email, we're using too much fluff. Okay. And here's an example of fluff to demonstrate my point beautifully. I'm going to give you 3 companies right now in 3 industries. I'm going to give you a training and development company. I'm going to give you a cookie company, and I'm going to give you a digital marketing company. And I'm going to show you where people are getting it wrong, because I bet you some of you are in this category. And then I'm going to show you, D, what it's supposed to look like if you want to get in the door. So let's take a look at it. Here's a fluff statement. Who wants to help me read this fluff statement? Danola, will you come off mute and just read this first fluff statement?
We offer transformative, cutting-edge learning experiences that empower professionals to unlock their full potential and drive organizational excellence.
Now, what's wrong with that? Miss Teresa might be like, that sounds pretty good to me. What's wrong with that? Who can tell me what's wrong? Even though it sounds cute, somebody paid a lot of money for this, but the real problem with this when it comes to aligning it to a problem or to a solution is what? What's wrong with this, Danita?
It's not telling me how they're going to solve for an issue or a pain point that I have.
Well, first, let me ask y'all a question, and I would love to see your faces. It's Friday, and sometimes looking at a whole bunch of black boxes isn't fun for me as a trainer, but it's okay. I love y'all still. Let me ask y'all a question. When you read the fluff statement, right, for this training company, who do they serve? Does it say who do you help? That's first thing. Who do you help? Do y'all see that in there? D, I don't know, D. D said, I don't know. Anybody else? Who do they serve? Who do they serve? Anybody? No? Some of y'all got these statements right now. I'm not being mean. I'm just, right. Go ahead, Josie. What'd you say?
It seemed like it serving all people from all facets of all business.
Right, but that's the problem, right?
Yeah,
So that's
the
the first
problem.
thing. And then let me ask somebody else a question. Tasha Dash, because Tasha's in the training and development space and coaching. Tasha, what type of learning experiences do they say? Like if I have a specific thing going on, conflict resolution or leadership, can I look at that and rule myself in or out that they do this type of training? Does it say that, Tasha?
It does not.
It does not. And yet some of you, your statements look just like this because you paid a lot of money and the marketing company was like, ooh, pretty words, put transformative, cutting edge, great adjectives. But the problem is when you go to align what it is you do to a NAICS code, a real problem where these people have multi-million-dollar budgets, they are looking to know who do you serve, what explicitly do you offer, and how do you do it, right? Clinical, clean, rip out all the fluff. So I'm going to show you what this looks like better. What if instead it said this? We offer custom workforce and leadership development programs for new leaders to provide the skills and confidence to lead their people and teams more effectively. Now, Sherry, if I need new leadership development, I'm calling this company, right? But I'm not calling them for conflict resolution. That's going to be Danita Williams's HR consulting company or Danola, right? But now I know when to call you and for what. So important. Something so small is knocking you all out of the park. Now, some of you are looking at me like I have 3 heads and you're like, why is she putting so much time on this? I will tell you why. Because Regions Bank and Chevron, real corporate partners, are saying, please teach your small businesses this. They're getting this one part wrong. And by getting it wrong, Nicole, I can't go back and tell John what it is that person does because I don't even know. So simple. Taja, can you read the bad statement from the cookie company? This is a cookie company who's trying to sell to a big company like Bank of America. Look at their fluff statement. Can you just read that for us, please?
Our artisan crafted, delectable confections are made with the finest all natural ingredients to deliver an unparalleled taste and sensation that will transport you to a world of pure joy.
Wow.
I'm hungry.
I know, hungry. But Marie, what do they sell though? Do you know what they sell? Like that sounds good, but what exactly do they sell?
Yeah, it's not specific enough.
No. And there's a lot of words. And so if I got to go back and tell John what this cookie company, I'm going to say, John, now I think they're artists, right? I think they got confections. I don't know. And so people are missing the mark. Tamara, your hand is up.
Yeah, so quick question. I love the refined statement for the training and development, but it's so focused. So I guess the question I have is a lot of people look at this as either their mission or their vision statement, like their tag, right? When you refined it down to new leaders, okay, so that's the only part that I'm having issues with is new leaders.
Yeah.
That focuses you in. But what if you are doing more than just new leaders?
Then you would put that there. So in this particular company, this company actually does focus on new leaders. Put what you want them to know you for. So if it's new leaders and existing leaders, add that in. But in this example, they only did want to focus on new leaders. So they should say that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. But watch this, Tamara, and I'm going to answer your question, and I'm going to show you in just a second how you can do one thing that ties to multiple NAICS codes. That's where your money is, right? So I'm getting ready to break it down. But let's look at this statement again. What if instead they said, Taja, we offer 31 flavors of deliciously baked homemade cookies for company events, special occasions, or for everyday enjoyment using high quality, all natural ingredients you love. Guess what you just did in one statement? You told me specifically what you're good at, which is the cookies. You gave me your differentiator, Danola, which is the 31 flavors. Wow, I'll take that deal. And then you told me when to call you, Nellie, right? For company events, special occasions, or everyday enjoyment. And you told me in the same statement, Nicole, that every ingredient is all natural. I will take this deal. You made it easy for me, Cherie, right? Cherry, right? You made it easy for them. But some of y'all are making it hard for them. It's too many words. It's too vague. We're going to look at one more example. And then if this is resonating with you, say me. Y'all put in the chat like, I'm feeling this. Let me know, because y'all are all on mute. And I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But if it's resonating with you and making you think differently, let me know. So Terry Waiter, because you're kind of in the tech space, I want you to read this statement for me. This is a poorly written digital marketing agency who paid some marketing team a lot of money to help them write this. Can you read this fluff statement from this digital marketing agency?
Sure. Our holistic multi-channel approach harnesses the full spectrum of digital synergies to create impactful and immersive brand experiences that resonate with your target audience.
Wow, it sounds good to the ear, I guess. It's a lot of words, but Sarita, if I had to go back because my commercial marketing team is trying to solve a real problem on TikTok, right? Or maybe they're trying to increase their Instagram. Does this really help me understand what they do and how they do it? Is this clear enough, you all? And what is digital synergies? Is that left open into interpretation, Taja? We don't know. We don't, but this is what we're turning in. And then we're leaving it, right, to someone else to go convey your message. And they are equally as confused, Marie. So here's what we're getting ready to do. What if this digital marketing company, you all, said this instead? We create and manage commercial, keyword. Let me tell you why this is a keyword. Because if my name is Adam and I used to sell digital marketing products to other small businesses, but my goal D is to sell to the big guys, I need to say I'm now on a commercial scale. So saying words like, we create and manage commercial digital marketing campaigns across multiple social media platforms. So now when they say multiple, Terry, I should assume that they mean all the standards, right? TikTok, YouTube. Okay, so they get with me, okay, to boost your brand's presence and keep your audience engaged all year long. Let me tell you what I just picked up from this. Not only are you going to boost it, but you're going to keep my engagement high all year long. And the fact that you put commercial means you're not trying to bring me a small business package, which some of us haven't updated our wording. Some of us who've been doing small business to small business, now you're trying to come to corporate and commercial, but you got the same small business wording. That's not going to fly. If your goal is to move up and start really attracting those commercial clients and corporate clients, say that with your words. Very important. Okay. So why was that digital marketing exercise so important? Check this out. Based on how clear this person was, look at all of the NAICS codes they tied to. One sentence tied to multiple NAICS codes. Now, we taught you what NAICS codes were in the previous session. NAICS codes and commodity codes are your money. Because in the corporate world, when they have a need, you all, they use a NAICS code to associate with a line item, an RFP. And so you need to make sure that what it is you do is translatable into these NAICS codes. Any questions so far? Because we're getting ready to tell you how to do it. Okay. So
we had one in the chat, but I'm responding to it. She was asking, do you use something similar if you want to work with government sector? And
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we taught that in the last session. So if you want to see it, just let us know and we'll send you the video link. Okay.
I put it in the chat. It's already
You're the best, Danola. Thank you. So here's the conclusion of this before we move on. Once you all get clearer on what you do, you will get clearer on how what you do benefits the corporations you want to serve. The reason why we're not getting in the door is we're taking our same old blanket statement that we used to use, small business is small business, and we're throwing it against the wall, and we have no idea if they need it, if it aligns or anything. So my next strategy is, now that you got clearer, you refined your offer, I'm going to show you how to focus. This is one of my favorite slides. So y'all check this out. Now we're going to talk about targeting. You're going to tell me that you wish all of these brands on this page, these logos, would do business with you. But I'm going to show you why focusing on 5 at a time is part of the strategy to getting you to your number at the end of the year. Okay. So this is a technique that comes from us, of course, and it's about identifying your top 5, because the reality is that many of us will burn out and go out of business if we literally attempt to go after all these companies. Y'all, this is a full-time job. When you don't have a strategy, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out and you're going to feel like it's not working. Some of you will go back to work, which I don't want you to. I'm pro business owner, okay? But I understand it, but I'm telling you how to stay in the game. The reason we're tired, the reason we're burnt out is we're doing something wrong. If you're trying to go through all of this, you're exhausted. Some of these people aren't checking for you. They're not interested in your industry or category, but you wouldn't know that if you're just throwing everything at the wall. So let me tell you what to do instead. Today, we're going to talk about the practice of building a top 5 hit list. And your hit list, if you look at this, now re-look at this picture, Nicole. Doesn't this feel better? You know how I just centered it on those 5. What if instead of 40, you had 5 to focus on? Isn't that more manageable, Nicole? Wouldn't 5 be more manageable, more doable? Because we have full-time businesses, right, Dee? We don't have time to chase this, right? So how do we do it? So here's the idea, you all. Some small businesses, not y'all, but some, right? Some believe that casting a wide net will increase their chances. I'm going to tell you why it won't. Instead, it's going to lead to wasted time, energy, and resources. Instead, I want you to focus on 5 at a time. And I want you to focus on 5 every 60 days. Can somebody come off mute and tell me how many days? Every how many days? Every how many days?
60 days.
Every 60 days. Now, Dawn-Nicole, what is the rationale in the science? Well, I'm not Dr. Dawn-Nicole for no reason. I'm going to tell you why this works. I promise you, I got you. So here's why. The first thing is, when you go for everything, you're not focusing on anything, right? And everything is not a strategy, my friends. If you feel yourself just doing everything and getting exhausted, check your strategy. That means you don't have one, right? So instead, here's what I want you to do. I want you to focus on the right things at the right time to get the right results. So here's what we're going to do now. You all have a page in your handbook that we sent you this morning. So we sent all of you a participant guide. There's a page where you get to identify the top 5 companies that you want to work with, okay, over the next 60 days. If you don't have this, just get out a piece of paper because we're going to do this together. So here's the exercise. What companies within your reach would you love to do business with, okay? Now, I know some of you are like, well, why do I have to stay within my reach? I'm going to show you why. So what companies within your reach, what top 5 would you love to do business with today? So let's create a top 5 list. And as you do, Nellie, I want you to think about products or services that you consume daily. What are some products or services you consume daily? Who is the manufacturer of your toothpaste? Is it Colgate? Who does your shampoo? Just think, because we often ignore this. What about Netflix? Y'all watch Netflix all the time. Have you thought about being a contractor with them? What about Hulu? Right? Like, we often ignore the products and services we consume daily. Or what about past employers, Taja? People don't realize that some of those past employers that you once worked at are ideal. Why? Because you know the company culture. You understand them, right? And then lastly, the corporations you drive by daily. Have you missed that? Are you not even thinking? Or we have such tunnel vision that we don't realize Nestle, right, or Revlon or one of these companies are right up the street. We're ignoring them. So I want you all to think about this. Identify top 5 companies to target over the next 60 days that are either products or services you consume daily, past employers, or a corporation or organization you drive by. Now, you don't have to stop here. I'm not restricting you. I'm just giving you a starting place to think through. So I would love someone to come off mute and share who they're thinking about with us. Who can come off mute and share that list with us? Sarita?
I'll come off. Yep. So for me, on the consulting side, companies like Rolls-Royce, Indigo, Raytheon, those who have federal or government contracts who may need assistance with capacity or some liaison with working with their subs or tier 2 suppliers.
Okay. Now, here's what I love about this exercise, and I'm going to hear from one more person, please, but I'm going to show you why this list is only a draft until you understand the technique for research. I'm going to show you why. Everything we put down is only a wish list until we turn it into a hit list, okay? A wish list is because right now Sarita is going by her gut reaction and who she thinks and who she wants. But I'm going to show you all in just a moment a technique to actually validate that the names on the page are in fact names on the page who will spend money with a company like yours, because we have been missing the research part. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing, Sarita. Who else can share your top 5 hit list based on this? Anybody else?
I can share.
Hey, please do. Yes. Thank you.
I'm Janice Young with Capstone Project Services, and we provide project management and resource support for projects. My top 5 as of today is Bassett and Cook, Chevron, Pyramid Construction, Microsoft, as well as KBR.
I love that you said Chevron, because I'm going to tell you right now, Janice, they are struggling. So I'm in conversations with them to bring them on as a partner. Part of Chevron's problem is there is a limited supply of small businesses across America who specialize in the energy oil. So they are particularly wanting people, no matter what you do, who have some kind of background or affiliation with energy, oil, and more, and they can't find that, right? So I'm glad that you share that with me, because I would love to talk to you outside of this, okay? So thank you for sharing that. Who else can share their top 5? Top 5. Anybody else? That's how you actually socialize and let me know who to connect you with. So who else can share your top 5? One more person. Don't be shy. Top 5 lists.
I can.
Okay, perfect, Shantae. Thank you.
You're welcome. Walmart, Amazon, IBM, Sephora, and LinkedIn.
Ooh, wait a minute. Shantae said, who has not even thought about LinkedIn? I know y'all have. Right? You hadn't even thought about LinkedIn. This is why I'm getting you to start thinking about, where do I shop, play, and enjoy? And these are also potential companies who are buyers. Shantae, do tell why LinkedIn is attractive to you. We're just curious. I love that you said that.
Sure. Why LinkedIn is attractive to me, because I use it as a networking platform, but they also reached out to me several times to get my opinion as an expert in the area that I am. So I was like, well, if they're reaching out to me for my my expertise, I definitely want to partner with them.
I love everything about what you just said. Awesome. So now here's what I want you to do. You all just gave me the name. So you should have a list like this in your participant guide, right? It should look just like this, but it's not filled out, okay? This one is filled out. You just gave me row 1. You just gave me the name. Now what I want you to do is take your top 5 list, you all, and tell me in the second row, is that company, to the best of your knowledge, is it national? Is it regional? Is it local? What I also want you to do is take a few minutes and let me know, what industry will you categorize it in? Is it a tech company? Is it a healthcare company? Is it professional services? Is it banking, mortgage? And then more importantly, that's why this box is green. What do you have? What will be your hero product or service that you want to provide first? Even before you know if it's right or wrong, give me the one thing, right? The hero that you have that you're like, oh, slam dunk. This is it. And then lastly, why do you believe what you have, what you put here, is a good fit for this company? Why do they need what you offer? Now, you haven't done research yet. This is all gut reaction, but this is how you build a draft of your wish list and you turn it into a hit list with the research. So I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes, right? And you should have something that looks like this. It's blank, and I'm giving you a few minutes to fill it out because I want to hear from a couple of people. Okay, so I'm gonna give you all about 2 minutes, then we'll hear a few examples. Remember, this is a working session when y'all come to CARES. We're doing some work. Okay, so I'll give it a few minutes.
Hey, Dawn-Nicole, it's Mandy here.
Hey, Mandy.
Can we resend the participant guide?
Whoever needs it, reach out to Mandy and Morgan. Mandy, I think you guys were copied earlier today on that participant guide. So just go back and find it and just send it to whoever needs it.
You got it.
Yeah. So if you
Thank you.
need it, reach Mandy, if you'll put your email in the chat so that they can request it from you.
Doing that right now.
You're the best. Thank you. All right. Now, some of you will complain right now at this level of work. Right. Some of you will be like, I'm not doing all that. That's why we don't have more. I'm telling you that they're asking you to do a basic level of research before you come in the door. This is the first step. If you're not willing to do this, how dare you want a $5 million contract? I love you, but I'm here to tell you like it is, right? Because we're in a new world where there is no DEI. This is supposed to be competitive. How are you ready to compete at the highest level, but we won't take the steps, right? So I'm talking to you real business owners, all right? So let's do the work. Taja, as you're putting your list together, why do you think it's important to know if the companies on their list has a national reach, a regional reach, or a local reach? Why is that key piece important? Why do you think that is an important piece of the strategy here?
Well, it's going to help you to determine your capacity of scale, number one. So when you talk national, are you able to provide your good or services at that scale of level? And then I think too, it really, because we got to get down to who it is you're going to be contacting or connecting with.
Yep.
So, you know, if it's someone at a national, there's going to be a lot more research to getting to that exact person that you want to talk to. If it's more local, you might have the opportunity to have more face-to-face dialogue with someone who's in your local market. So that's how I'm looking at it.
And that's the power of TMG Solutions. If you don't know, now you know. Y'all better get with Taja M. Graham. She's the best of the best when it comes to sales and business development. Awesome. Awesome. But why else does it matter too? So if it's local, sometimes it's low hanging fruit. Like Taja said, you might be able to drive, and sometimes local is much easier to get in the door, and they have huge budgets, but we're not even checking for them. All right. So I'm going to ask a volunteer, if you're willing to volunteer, just one of the companies on your hit list. We won't have time, you all, to go through all 5, but I'm going to ask a volunteer to read one of their companies and read it like this. Name of the corporation. Is it local, national, right, or regional? What is the industry? What will you provide? This is also a great way to showcase to us what you do. So if you want to read one of yours, please raise your hand and we'll call. Okay, D, thank you. All right, we're going to hear from D and then Cherie, and I love the engagement. Yes. All right, D.
Okay, so thanks. One company that I love to work for is GDIT, which is General Dynamics and Information Technologies. They're definitely national. They're a technology company. What I would offer to them is invoice management and accounts receivable services, basically helping them to manage their outstanding invoices and get their outstanding invoices paid.
I love
That's
it.
what I do.
I love it. And why do you think, right? And so this part is key. So you may not be wrong, but why do you believe in your gut? And we don't know yet, but why do you think that they need what you offer? They either may not have it already, or they don't have it the way D is going to do it. Let's go a little deeper. Why do they need it from you?
Sure. I believe the reason they need it from me is, number one, I constantly see them posting on Indeed and other job boards. And they're always looking for accounts receivable people like me to come in and help them collect their cash. And secondly, I believe they need what I do, is because I've been doing it for over 20 years. And number 3, I've got a track record of recovering over $100 million.
Come on, D.
I can come in there and teach their staff how to do it better, and how I've done it for government agencies and for government contractors.
What did you just say? Now, let me tell you why I make y'all think critically, because we don't think critically. We're moving so fast, we're surface, right? We'll reach out to Jenny at this company and say, Jenny, I'd love to meet with you. But let me tell you how Dee takes the information she just told me and turn it into a powerful introduction. What Dee needs to say to Jenny at said company is, hey, Jenny, I constantly see where you post on Indeed for opportunities like this. And my company has a one-stop solution where we can actually stand in the gap until you get your backfill or be a third-party solution. Are you interested in meeting with me? Are you open to a quick meeting with me? Right? That changes the game because it automatically separates you from being a looky-loo, a cold email, to someone who's done a level of research. And then D can drop, by the way, I saved companies 100 million or whatever, right? These are all things we need to say, but we're not. We're moving fast. We're doing these copy and pastable introductions on LinkedIn, right? And it's no wonder we're not getting a call back. All right, Cherie and then Nelly, y'all got me excited today. Come on, Cherie.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Sherry Culp. I serve as a principal coach and founder of Unearth Coaching and Consulting, where I help high-achieving executives, entrepreneurs, and emerging leaders silence their inner critic so they can lead with clarity, confidence, and resilience. I have several companies listed here, but I will mention one, and that is IBM. They are a national organization, also conducting business at the international level. They are in the tech industry. The service that I will provide is one-on-one executive coaching, as well as workshops and group coaching sessions. And the reason I believe that I am a good fit for this, because we are aware of how AI is eliminating a lot of jobs, and a lot of organizations are focusing on management. And I tell everyone all the time that IQ will get you through the door, but EQ will keep you in the room.
Come
As
on.
an internationally certified coach and an expert in emotional intelligence and positive psychology, I have the skill set, the passion to provide those services to them.
Oh, can we just clap it? Wait a minute. Listen. Okay, Sherry, you I love everything about it. Thank you so much. Love it. And that's what I want you all to lead with, you all. When you understand how you make them fundamentally better amidst what they currently have. If you can find the one thing that you can anchor that thing in with, then that's what you should be focusing on. I absolutely love it. Nelly, we have time for one more, and then we're gonna actually do a litmus test to see if we were right about these companies. Nelly?
Okay, thank you. So we provide robots, service robots, as Dawn was explaining. So one of the companies I want to target is the South Park Mall. And they are regional. They are not only here in Charlotte, but in other states, but not nationwide. And basically, of course, in the mall entertaining industry. And one of the products that I think will fit them very well is the cleaning robots, because we have several different sizes. And, in this type of mall, which is a nice mall, they need to show a good, image. They need to be clean, huge spaces that, you can actually save them 5 times, because in cleaning, because, cleaning those big spaces, one only machine can do like 65,000 square feet in an hour. So, and to do that with people is a lot more people and a lot more time. So those are one of the robots we can offer, and also greeting robots, which could be, providing guidance to people, or, providing advertisement for the different stores around the mall that they could also profit from, right?
Perfect.
They could have all the stores paying them to do advertisement for them.
Okay, so first, let me give it up for Nelly. I'm going to clap for you. I love everything about it. And I love the diversity of skill set and background of products and services we have on today's call. Love everything about it. So what happens if you're Nelly? Oh, Tamara's going to love this question. So Nelly just gave me 2 use cases. I want y'all to follow where I'm going. Nelly said, I want to talk to one customer, right? She gave me one example. There's probably 5 on your page, but you gave me one just now, right? But then in your one example, you was like, and my robots could be for this or for that, right? For cleaning or for greeting. What does Nelly do when she doesn't know which one is the hero for the company? Because if you go in too hot and heavy and you say, oh, we could do this and this and this and this, they're going to be like, y'all don't know, but they say this person, they overwhelmed me. What should Nelly do? I'm going to tell you exactly what she should do. In this case, Nelly needs to get in the door with the one that she believes is the hero. And once she's in the door, pull in the second runner up. But the problem is, you all, is Nelly can't be sure yet with which one is the hero, because we haven't done the research, which we're getting ready to do on the next page. So I'm getting ready to show you in real time how you can nail it and stop guessing. Because until you know, you don't know which one to go in with. And this is part of the confusion. Now, if you guys like, before we move on to the next concept, how many people with a heart or a thumbs up like this idea of building a wish list, a hit list? If you like it, give us some love so we know that we're spot on. You guys like it? Thinking critically? Okay, good. Because I will tell you, so many companies right now in ProcuraFind are like, I can't find anybody. And I said, well, where's your top 5? I don't have a top 5. Why do I need it? This is why. You need to have a target. Where are you going? The GPS can't take you if you don't have an address. You're going nowhere and you're mad. Let's change that. So what we just built, you all, is a draft wish list. It's not a hit list until you do this research. Let's dig into it. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper and see what to do. So before I give you the research, I can't bring you along unless you know the key terms. So I'm going to do this real fast. Y'all can take a picture and I'm going to hit on 9 terms that you must know before you do the research. Otherwise, you're going to be lost when I talk about this. So number 1, there's something that's called corporate social responsibility or corporate responsibility. You all, newsflash, every single company on your list has this. You just don't know to look for it. It has everything you need. It is public. It is a public-facing document that they have to produce at least annually, Taja, sometimes every 6 months. And what is in it is they talk about the quality of the company, the sustainability of the company, our initiatives for 2025, 2026, what is changing, our ethical soundness. All of the answers and the problems you want to solve are hidden inside of every company's CSR or CR report. You just don't know to research it, but it's there. Stop guessing and go for it. The next thing you want to know is something called ESG. This stands for environmental, social, and governance. Annually, these companies are incentivized, Danola, to put out an ESG report. How are they going green and becoming a more green society? What is their environmental responsibility, their social responsibility to working with small businesses and how they govern themselves? It is all right there, but we don't know to look for it, okay? They also have ESG goals and an ESG report. And then, Terry, this is going to blow your mind. Do you know that every 5 years to every 10 years, at least government agencies have to, by law, produce a disparity study? And in the disparity study, D, they actually break down where they're weak at, where there are gaps at. We have gaps in the accounting department, or we're not utilizing women-owned small businesses or small businesses in rural counties. It's all public information. Your best friend is to get your hands on a disparity study and read it. Have here's a hack. Tell ChatGPT what you do or what you want to do, pull the disparity study and say, hey, ChatGPT, this is my business. Analyze this disparity study and tell me where I have opportunities. Come on, y'all. Oh, is this thing on? Do y'all know how good that is? Y'all not, I don't think y'all was ready for today. Y'all not with. I'm telling you to stop guessing. There's public information, but you can't get your hands on it if you don't know what to look for. But now you do. The disparity study is worth its weight in millions. It is typically associated with the government sectors. So local and state government, they have a disparity study. Every county. Right now, you could even try me. If you live in Knoxville, look up Knox County. Look up Knox County disparity study, the city disparity study, the state disparity study, the federal government disparity study. Corporates, not so much. They'll do a social responsibility report, but you need to know this, okay? Also, investor relations. This is deep. Nobody talks about this. Taja, most corporations have investors. These investors, Terry Wade, drop millions. But what you don't know is that when investors drop millions, they will oftentimes create an investors relations report with the direction, I just invested $5 million into this company for the purposes of this over the next 5 years. We want to become a cutting edge tech company, a data first company. We want to improve this. It's all right there in the investor relations report, which is typically, Sherry, at the bottom of a corporation's page. All you got to do is search it, look for contact us, and then look for investor relations reports. Many of them will publish it, but we don't know to look for it, Marie, so we don't. So here we are being little old small businesses doing the same old little old tactics, right? Because we don't know. And that's why I'm here today to tell you how the big boys move. They use these documents to make multi-million-dollar deals, okay? Also, now that you know that, you also need to understand that every single corporation that you just listed has some information somewhere hidden around doing business with them. Now, before Donald Trump, this is not political. I'm not going to talk about one side or other. I'm just going to talk about before Trump was in presidency, every single company had something that was called supplier sourcing, supplier registration portal. They had it everywhere. People may have pulled it down though, Marie and Andrew, because times are tricky and they don't want to get in trouble. So Nicole, what they do is they're calling it something else. So now when you search, you need to know that many of these companies have updated it to say third-party vendor. So now your search is going to say, hey, I want to be a third-party vendor with IPM, right? Where is the page to sign up as a third-party vendor or a small business supplier? Is there a registration portal? You need to know that this is a back door that these companies have that allow you, Karima, to sign up to be visible in their database. Because it doesn't matter how good you are here at ProcuraFind, if they don't know you exist, you won't get the call. Now, recently, when we did this research in early June, ladies and men, we did this research and we found out that some of these pages have gone away because people are, right? And now they're not pages, they're emails, as Danola found out. It just says, hey, email Sam for this. So I just want you to know it's still the same concept. It's just called something different, okay?
Dr. Dawn-Nicole?
Yeah.
Michelle is reminding us that you can also access these reports through free databases at the library.
Thank you, Michelle. And appropriately coming from Michelle, because her business is Business Data Friends. And what they do is they help you for a fee, right, through her company, right, pull advantage building reports and data that can get you in the door fast. So if you just want to spend some time or reach out to Michelle, who's going to put her email in the chat, Michelle, then you can learn about her services that way. So we're going to keep on going, okay? Also, you need to be aware of this, you all, certification requirements. Now, let me make this make sense. This is one time, I'm not just talking about those minority certifications. I'm not talking about, am I a woman certification? Am I a small business? Am I a veteran? I got some news for you. Those are probably going to be going away slowly. Do y'all hear me? Those are slowly going to be rolled back. Because more and more this year, I'm seeing companies who are kind of relaxing off of verifying D that we're a small business or a Black business because people are afraid to get their hands slapped. So they can't really be bullish about that certification. I know, Janice, this is really interesting, but this is where we're headed. I even have companies who frowned at me recently who said, are you making your members get certified? And I said, whoa, whoa. I don't make my members do anything. What we do is we do what our partners. So if y'all want to work for a company and the company requires you have a certification, then you do what the company is asking. But I just want you all to know between me and you that we are starting to experience companies soften up on those certifications around your background and your ethnicity. However, here's one thing that they're not talking about enough, Teresa, is that did you know there are other certification types that these companies want you to have, like data certifications, data privacy, cybersecurity? Terry Wada can tell you all about it, right, Terry? Even in the data and cybersecurity, you can't even work with like different banks without, like M&T Bank and other banks, without showing that when they work with your product, Enola, you have to make sure that your system can't get hacked into if you're doing business with them, because that's a risk. These are different certifications. You may, Janice, have to prove that you have an eco-friendly certification in your field. Karima, they, as someone who sells teas and products, you may have to get a certain certification around recyclable packaging, right? Biodegradable stuff. So I want you all not to be surprised when you see that these companies are going to require this. Last but not least, a lot of companies have a vendor risk assessment on you. Did you know that? that they actually will put you through a vendor risk assessment. Tamara Baptiste, you're probably familiar. They would take your profile and say that Tamara is a high risk or a low risk based on this, right? Or that. So there are risk assessments that for some industries, you have to match or meet those to do business with them, like in the banking industry, financial industry, insurance industry. By the way, I come from the banking background. I can tell you all about regulatory compliance. I can tell you right now, if you don't show some banks a sustainability plan, a continuity plan in case of a pandemic or an emergency, Teresa, you're not getting in the door. Now, many of you are like, what? What is that? A sustainability plan sounds like this. In the event they give you a big contract and all of a sudden something happens, your office catches on fire, right? Some emergency happens, you get absolutely sick, you and your whole staff, like COVID was a real example. But you don't have a way to back up your systems, Sarita. You don't have a backup server. You're not partnered with someone in Louisville, right? To show them that, hey, in case of an emergency, our systems go down, we back up our server here. Oh, y'all not ready for this. It's a continuity plan. They're going to ask you if you want to be in banking and insurance. They're going to ask you, should something go awry? Should you get hacked? What are the steps you do quickly to eradicate and get back to business? It's called business continuity. Okay. So there are 9 terms I want you to get familiar. Feel free to take a picture. Did everybody get the picture? You have this before we move on? Okay, cool. So how do you research? So Taja, y'all just wrote down 5 companies, but how do you know for a fact that they really are going to buy what you offer? Here's exactly the type of research we want you to do to get in the door. This is what the big guys do who are winning the contracts. Number 1, there's something that's called a historical track record. What this is industry relevance to yours. Can you, through research, determine and demonstrate that Bank of America or IBM or whoever you just put on your list actually has demonstrated track record for doing business with small businesses in your industry? Are you able to find that information? You won't find it if you don't research it. So Michelle, if you're able to come off mute, can you talk about how Business Data Friends and your local library can pull records, historical records, to show these business owners on the call how they can get their hands on things quickly to find out who has already done business with these companies? Is Michelle still on the call?
I am. Hello, Dawn. Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
Michelle.
I'm unable to turn my camera on, but I just wanted to let you know that, yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing up public libraries as a great starting point to anyone's research. There are databases, but first of all, the librarian can give you some keywords, assistance with different ways using your NAICS code, using your SIC codes, different ways that the industry calls what you do and what the corporation calls it as what you do. So that's number 1, help with keywords. The second, the databases, there's something called Reference Solutions. It used to be called Data Axle, that you can access on site at the library or from home if you have a library card. And this is all across the country. It doesn't matter if you're in Alabama or in Indiana or here in North Carolina, where we're all based, the first chapter of ProcuraFind, but I know we're expanding. Just go to your local public reference librarian who is able to show you a business database that you can go in and start your company research. They will probably show you, first of all, annual reports that they will, for public companies. Private companies can be a little more difficult. So even understanding what is the difference between a public company that is, publicly traded or has activity on the stock market exchange, the exchanges like S&P 500 and NASDAQ, you're going to get more information about those versus those private companies that aren't. So those are the things to consider when you're doing your research.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And if you all want to get with Michelle, that's actually the company she started. She's a ProcuraFind member. So I will tell you that what I love about Michelle's business is she teaches as a best practice, have a library day. Y'all don't know the library is now, this is not second grade library, y'all. This is not elementary school like what we remember, the lost library card, okay? This is, a lot of libraries are working to become state-of-the-art business hubs. We're sleeping on the library and the data they can pull to give us the advantage. So with that, Michelle, thank you. If you want to put your info in the chat and people will keep following up, okay? The other thing I want you all to research, and a lot of this can be found on the library, but I'm going to give you some simple search tools that you can do also through ChatGPT today, okay? You can do some historical spending and purchasing history. A lot of these companies, this is public record. How much did they spend on leadership and development training? How much did they spend, right, on human resources services, on health and wellness products, on HR? What is it that you do? Now, double research or reverse engineer, and find out what their historical spending looks like. Why does this matter? This will give you reference of if they have an appetite for spending in your category. Okay. Lastly, we just talked about finding research documents. Most of it is public record. I guarantee you, if you can't find a CSR report, a corporate social responsibility report, you should be able to find an ESG report or a disparity study. We're getting ready to put it through the test. So this is where this becomes interactive. Y'all remember how a few minutes ago, y'all wrote down 5 companies, right? Everybody remember? Now what we want you to do is we want you to take those 5 companies. I might be ahead of myself. That's okay. I want you to take those 5 companies and I want you to actually see right now, just take 1 to 2 minutes, go to Google or Chat GPT or Gemini, whatever you use, take the company name and say, can you help me find or discover such and such company's social responsibility or corporate responsibility report or disparity study. So just do quick research. And when you find something, raise your hand so we can call on you. I want to put it to the test in real time. Take one of your companies and look to research against one of these documents. We'll give y'all a few minutes to get it done. Meanwhile, we'll ask Mandy if she'll hum us a tune. No, Mandy, I'm not going to put you on the spot like that.
Well, that's a good thing because I'd be Chat GPT in it. As DeMario taught me.
Good. Very good. All right. Now, the first one to find something, we want to hear from you because we've done this before in our other trainings and we always find something. All right. Can't wait to hear from somebody. Okay, so Sherry has something to share. Come off mute and tell us the name of the company, what document you researched, and what you found.
Yes, I looked at IBM's 2023 Impact ESG report, and some of the highlights related to the field that I am of interest in is they spent $1.2 billion on supplier diversity spending. They also trained 600 plus suppliers in technology ethics and progress towards the 2025 targets. And yeah, so those are the highlights that are related in my field.
Now, see, and people think I'm playing. Like, y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think we're just coming to training just to be fun and see each other. This is real stuff. This is really, and these are the beginnings of the tools you should start to research and give yourself a research day in your company where you take these tools and you make it actionable. So Sherry, there's a lot you can do with that information now, right? So now you have some information and it goes deeper, by the way. Who else found something? One more person. Anybody else find anything? Either y'all, I don't know if y'all not researching or you just shy, but has anyone found anything at all that you want to share? Taja?
Yep, I looked up HubSpot.
Oh,
I'm interested in speaking to them.
Okay.
About an offering that I have, and was able to find their report through ChatGPT. So, and they have a whole dedicated program directly in their ERG that speaks to both women in HubSpot, and so there's a lot here that I can pull from.
Love it. Love it. And we don't have time to go, but this gets deep. So this is why I recommend a library day or research day. This is all part of business development. Okay. So we're going to keep going, you all. So now that you understand how to research, we're going to talk about what happens when Taja actually goes to HubSpot or Sherry actually goes to HubSpot. What should she expect? So take a look at this. This is really important because no one is teaching this part. So here's the back door. Remember earlier I told you when you want to do business with these companies, there was a whole back door that's called their supplier portal or supplier management portal. The first thing that I want you to know is that these systems that are supplier portals are called vendor management, procurement platforms, or supplier systems. And they're actually name brand. They look just like this: STARS, Supplier One, Coupa, ECRM, RangeMe, or Supplier Gateway. So let me make this make sense. Look, this is what I'm trying to tell you very quickly. No matter how big the company is, take IBM, take Bank of America, take Walt Disney Corporation, which is a corporation, by the way, take Paramount Pictures. If you want to be a vendor, these companies by law must pay a third party like these vendor management systems for an integration to host a supplier portal. So I don't want to confuse you. What I'm telling you is that none of the corporations are allowed to just build their own portal. It may look like they just built a portal, but they're all using a system like this from STARS, Supplier One, Coupa, right? Here's why the government makes them do it. Y'all don't know this part because it's not public information. The reason why, if a major company wants to get tax dollars from the White House, from the Senate, right, from the House bill for doing business with you as a small business, they have to show proof of how much money they spent with you. And in order to show proof of how many companies they're doing business with, how many small businesses, the government doesn't trust them to use their own records. They're not allowed to build their own system. They must use an independent third party like this, a vendor management platform. That's why, Karima, no matter where you all go, whether you use Walmart or Target, you want to do business with any of these companies, they are on one of these platforms because this data can be trusted because it's an independent third-party vendor management system that's been integrated into the website of the company you want to do business with. So you think that this web page is Lowe's or IBM, but it's really one of these systems. This is why, Danita, if you wanted to do business with the NFL or Boston Consulting Group, the NFL is going to say, here's our supplier portal, and they route you to a page that's backed up by STARS or Supplier One or Coupa. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Because I want you to really understand how this stuff works, okay? So that's what's happening because only then can we trust third-party records and third-party data, okay? Now, here's what you should know is that all of these are going to be good for you, but only ECR Range Me is a product-based. I'm going to say it slow. All of these systems are for service-based businesses. The only one that has a focus on product businesses like Karima's business is going to be ECRM and Range Me. So Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens, they're on Range Me. You can probably also find them on some of the other ones, but ECRM Range Me is the biggest one for those big companies who are retailers, products. Just thought you should know that. Okay, so let's move us forward. Here's what you're going to see. This is a pretend example. Let's say that I want to go do business with Anderson Windows, right? When I go click on Anderson Windows, Anderson Windows is going to take me to a home page that says Supplier Diversity and Inclusion Registration page, but it's powered by Supplier One. That's the vendor it uses, okay? When I go there, the first step is I need to read what Anderson Windows requirements are. It's very important that I read it first because I need to know, do I need to have some kind of home installment risk assessment? You need to understand what they're asking for you to do. The second thing you need to do, once you read it, you need to sign up in their landing page, right? You have to create an account with them. So you're going to create an account verifying your email. Once you create the account, you can then go back into it and start filling out your supplier profile. So it's a two-part system. That feels like one step, but it's really two steps. So I went to Anderson Windows. I registered to verify an account, to create an account. I had to validate that it's a real email. Now I go back into it. I log in and I start filling out my information here. Let me tell you something. This is easily going to take you about an hour. Here's what's wrong is that a lot of small businesses are trying to rush. They're not building in strategy to fill out 5 supplier portals a month. This is why I'm telling you, focus on 5 every 60 days and work them. But if you know that it's going to take time, it's an investment in your business. So here's what they're going to ask you all when you go to the supplier portal. They're going to ask you about your general information. So when I go back to log in, this is the previous name of our company. They're going to say, Dawn-Nicole, this is the basic information, but you need to fill out the product and service you offer in your NAICS code. This is going to take me a minute. Also, it's worth adding that every time I go to fill this out, I should have my capability statement close. I should also have any certifications that I'm going to upload. Again, the reason why people drop out of these systems and they don't finish Sarita is because they think it's quick and they don't actually build in the time to actually have all the documents ready. It's going to ask you to have your products and services. So you should have a blank Word doc with copy and paste. It's going to ask you for your capability and your performance history. Ms. Teresa, you're going to have to actually list out some past performance clients. It's going to ask you about your ownership and proof of it, right? Do you own the business 100%? It's going to ask you about that. It's going to ask you about employees and the size of your company. It's going to ask you all if you have environmental and social goals. It's also going to show you how many registrations you already have with Supplier One companies. Finally, it's going to have you upload your certifications. This is going to take you about an hour and a half. What I will tell you, this is why we say do 5 every 60 days. Now, Taja, you're probably going to be like, I can do 10. Let me tell you why we recommend 5. Pace yourself. You got to target your companies like we just showed you. Do the right research. Now that you validate this is in fact the companies you want, go do this part. And then we're getting ready to show you how you spend your next 30 days working those leads on LinkedIn. All right. You don't just do this and wait for it. You do this and I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay. So again, be prepared to spend 1 to 2 hours of this work. Now, could you outsource this to an admin? Could you ask your how many of you would outsource this to your admin, your VA? I just want to see a show of hands. All right. Danola says yes. Anybody else? You're going to have your admin do it? Here's why it matters. D's like, I don't know about that. I would say, even if you do it the first time yourself, put in the work so you really know what it's going to ask you. Put in the work the first time and get it done. Okay. So I don't have time for us to do this exercise. I was going to have you all take the name of the company one on your list and reverse search the supplier portal, but we don't have time for that. So you can do that later. So take the picture. And now if you want to get to the portals for the companies you chose, all you got to do is go to Google or chatbot later and just say, hey, show me the vendor supplier registration page for X company. Okay. Now let's get you to the LinkedIn strategy. By the way, I'm just going to touch on this and move on. Remember I said earlier that certain companies like a banking company, an insurance company will make you do a risk assessment profile. This is what they're going to be looking for: cybersecurity, data privacy policies, a certificate of insurance. By the way, how many people here have a certificate of insurances? You have insurance on your business? Good job. It only costs about $25 a month. And many of the companies will make you have it. Does anyone have a question? Because I know I just had you raise your hand, but does anyone have a question? If you have a question, come off mute and ask one question. Any questions?
Dawn?
Yep.
Dawn, I had a big question about the supplier portals. Do they include all sizes for companies? It's mid-size, small size, all large, or is it just a specific size?
That's a good question. It's all sizes. And the way that question will read, Michelle, is they're going to say, what is the revenue size of your company? So it'll be more you telling it what your revenue size is. It will also say, what is your team size? Based on that, it will classify you as a small business or a medium business. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And also the other portal that you wanted us to look up, the companies, that one as well. I wanted to know if it also included large companies as well as small companies.
It does. So let me tell you what they're trying to do. When a company has a supplier program, a vendor program that's targeting small businesses, based on how you answer that question, you can knock yourself out of that classification. So if you get on that portal and you say, yes, I'm a third-party vendor, but I made $80 million last year, you're going to get a message that says, we're so sorry you don't fit in our small business program, but we're going to recommend you to our corporate services team, right? So our ESS team or something. So I just want you to know many of these programs are designed for the small business as categorized by revenue size and team size. Okay?
Great, thank you.
Yep. Let's keep going because I want to close with the best part, and that is Dawn-Nicole, what is the LinkedIn strategy? After I've done all these things, I did all the hard work. Tell me how I go from the portal, from registering my business to closing my first meeting on LinkedIn. How do I do it? So let's do it. I don't have time to get into that. All right, you all. So we just talked about the process steps, right? We talked about registering to do business with the company. Now what I'm going to do is take you to, after you register to do business with the company, Sarita, what you need to do next is you need to find them and follow them on LinkedIn. So I got 15 minutes to make impact with you all. So watch this. I just registered with Anderson Windows. I'm in their portal, and I know that my registration went through, Nelly, because I got an email that says, congratulations, ProcuraFind. You are now a registered vendor with Anderson Windows. Great. Sherry, what I should immediately do next is step 2. I need to go to LinkedIn. I need to find Anderson Windows, and I need to immediately follow them. Okay. So I also need to send a connections request to key people at Anderson Windows. So y'all might want to take the picture. These are the real steps, and then we're going to walk it through. Okay. So now that I found Anderson Windows, I followed them. Very important. Why do y'all think it's important to actually follow them and not just find them? Just real fast. Somebody come off mute. Why should you actually follow the company? Anybody know what that will do?
It shows interest.
Show your interest.
Yeah, increase visibility to your page.
That, and the moment you follow yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying research, that's all.
Research, but the most important thing is, guess what? The moment you follow a company, LinkedIn automatically rewards you by pulling them into your algorithm. And now you get to see all of their events, all of their hiring, all of their people's posts, right? You start to get recommended all their people. So you ain't doing nothing if you ain't following the company you want to work with, okay? So again, now that you found them and you followed them, by the way, you should do this today if you can with your 5 companies you just chose. That's the least you can do, right? Now, you're going to start sending a connections request to key people. I believe the next page is going to show you how, so don't worry. So there is going to be a segment on every company page that will say find people. I'm going to show you how you're going to find people who have titles like procurement, sourcing, program manager, vendor relations. Why do y'all think you should be looking for program managers at Anderson Windows or Coca-Cola? Meaning, if you want to work for these companies, whoever would have thought I should be following Lisa, who's a program? Why is a program manager a good title to follow? Does anybody know why you would want to connect with a program manager there?
Because the program manager have a wealth of information like team leaders, leaders within the organization. So whenever there's big projects, they can reach out to you or you'll be in the know.
Well, that too. And you know what else, Shantae? People don't realize the program manager has the budget. See, program managers, the difference between a project manager and a program manager, real fast. I know some of y'all been in project management like me. Project managers manage one project and they have budgets that they manage for a project. And all the time, projects are looking for third-party vendors for different types of projects. Project managers may need to outsource HR. They may need to outsource leadership coaching, tech coaching, data, right? But then a program manager is higher than a project manager because a program manager manages multiple projects across the enterprise. So if you can get in front of a program manager who is privy to multiple projects at Anderson Windows, now you're in there. So what do you do next? So let's just walk the dog. I registered for Anderson Windows. I then found them and followed them on LinkedIn. I then started to look up the people tab, which I hope I have a picture of on the next screen, right? And under the people tab, I started to search titles for Anderson Window with procurement, sourcing, program, project manager, vendor. Then watch this before you send a message, because this is where we're getting, don't you spam these people. Now that you sent the request or now that you found them, it's time for you to start liking some content on Anderson Windows. You got to play the algorithm game. So on Anderson Windows, there's an event coming up. There's an expo. There's a new commercial. There's a new ad. Like. See who else is liking it. Comment. Become familiar with the content. This is why we only want you to do 5 companies every 60 days so you can build this relationship deep, not wide. Go deep. like the content, engage. Then you're going to send Lisa with Anderson Windows an email connections request, right? And here's what it looks like. Hey, Lisa, my name is Taja. I'm just going to pick on Taja. My name is Taja, and I am a fan of the work you all are doing at Anderson Windows. I see you have a new ad for this, and I want to talk to you about it. My company may be able to support this ad or support this work. Would love to learn more. And then here's my line that gets me every single deal. Are you open to a brief 15 to 20-minute call with me? Very unassuming, non-threatening. I don't say, are you interested? Do you care? After I say something compelling that looks like I've been following the page, I might even say, Lisa, I see you all have an upcoming event in Las Vegas, right? Our company does this work as well. Would love to learn about programs for third-party vendors. Already registered in your portal. What? I'm already registered in your portal. Do not reach out to these companies without being registered. That's why I have you register first to make it look like you've done the work. Now you can reach out to Lisa with some sense. You're following the page. You've liked, you've engaged. Are you open to a quick call with me? No, I'm sorry, I can't, but I'm going to connect you with Lester. That's the person you need to meet. Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. Or Lisa's going to say, sure, I'm available August 18th. I close more deals with LinkedIn than any other platform with this technique. I will be happy to snapshot some real samples of what my emails look like. I promise you. I'm not telling you anything I think. I'm telling you what I know, okay? So these are the steps. Any questions around these steps? Okay.
I have a quick question.
Okay, quick question, and then I'm gonna compute the time on how much time you're spending across 5 companies in 60 days to make this make sense. All right, Dee, go ahead.
Okay, so my quick question was from when you register in the portal to when you when you do these 5 steps and then reach out for the call, is it the same day, within the same week, 2
within
weeks?
the same week, within the same. That's why now, see, some of y'all, that's why I said 5 companies, 60 days. Follow me. Some of us are doing massive, it's a numbers game, it's the numbers. No. In the corporate world, it's a relationship game. It's relationship, y'all. This is not in small business sales, it's numbers. Here, the sales cycle is long. You get out of it what you put into it. So again, I'm gonna walk the dog real fast. I just registered today. There's no reason why today I can't go find and follow the company. I can do that today, right? Now, I'm simply going to research people. I'm not gonna do anything with that. I'm gonna write the names down or put it in HubSpot like Taja does, right? Or put it on Excel. By the way, we use an Excel sheet and I have a whole folder that's called leads. So I start to set it up. I get a couple of people like, okay, this is Tim Adams. He's in procurement. Okay, this is Lisa program. I do nothing with it yet. I identify my people. Then I start liking the content. I start familiarizing myself. Is there an event coming up? Is there a new ad coming up? I follow the page like a stalker. That's why 5 companies, 60 days. Go deep, not wide. Take it easy. Then 2 days later, a few days later, I come back and I start engaging with Lisa and with my people, right? Because I need the time for the algorithm to build up to show I'm engaging, but I have a system, okay? So I see more questions are coming in and I'm trying not to go over time. So Tamara and then Takesha.
Very quick question. Do you recommend or find value in either LinkedIn Premium or Sales Navigator for this work?
Taja is the queen of premium. So I'll tell you what, I've had both, Tamara. I'm just as effective with basic LinkedIn doing this than I am with premium. I think where premium has an advantage is when you want to find people faster and you don't want to do the work to navigate on the basic, like when it comes to finding the names, premium will get you there faster, right? Because premium is designed to go behind the curtain, which is what Taja uses. But you can also perfectly do this on your basic, okay? Takesha, and then we got to move on.
Great afternoon, Queen of Energy. So the question is, do we do this for our personal or our business LinkedIn, or C, both?
So this is going to come from you as a personal. So I do mine. So even though I have business LinkedIn has some limitations. Let me tell you a secret on LinkedIn. It's people behind it, right? People to people, okay? Because the people you are shopping to that you want to talk to are people. Even though you follow the business page, you like the business page, everything I'm telling you I do from Dawn-Nicole McIlwain's LinkedIn page, my personal page with 35,000 plus followers. Okay? If you do it from a company page, it feels ambiguous. Remember, people got to know, like, and trust you. And your business page has a veil, it has a logo. Who is that, right? You're trying to build with a person. So I recommend that you send this from your person-to-person page. And again, you have to be non-threatening. Also, y'all, stop doing those long messages. That scares people. It gives them anxiety. Quick to the point. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I'm such a fan of Anderson Windows. Our company, is a fan. I'd love to see how we can promote this new product. You've got an upcoming event. Would you be open to a call with me, right? So based on the content you just studied for 2 days, there are a number of ways to anchor that conversation to Lisa. And it should be short and sweet. Are you open to a brief call with me? ? Dawn-Nicole. That's it. I don't say, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Calendly. Some of y'all, right? I'm just telling you, personable at first. Do not scare them. Okay? So that's what works for me. But doing this, you'll find your rhythm. So how many hours? So let's break it down real fast because Taja's a numbers person. Okay? So 3 hours per company per month. Remember I said five companies every 60 days. Here's the magic. Total, this is about 3 hours of work, right? 15 hours of business development every 60 days. You are investing 15 hours at minimal in order to get multi-million-dollar projects. If you cannot do that, if you say, I'm too busy, that's why you're not growing. Let me tell you some secrets. Things you need to protect in your company. You need to protect an operations day, no matter what you do with that day. If you look at my calendar, I have a whole day that's red. Nothing gets there. Right? And on that day, I research and I do a lot of business development, right? So you need an operations day, you need research time, you need business development baked into your strategy. If you are not doing that, this is why you are not scaling. If you can't trade and give 15 hours of business development every 60 days, that it's going to be split across 5 companies. And if you do this technique, right? So this is a visual for the visual people. If you do this technique, you will see that you are engaging with multiple people, multiple companies for the year. So again, it starts with you registering to do business. You then follow the company, find them and follow, connect with key people after you've engaged, right? Or engage with the content, and then you invite them to an introductory meeting. 5 companies of focus every 60 days, 30 companies per year. Questions, thoughts, comments? Whose mouth is on the floor? Like, what? Because some of, right? But some of y'all was like going after hundreds of companies. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yep. No, go ahead, Sherry, and we'll
I didn't know if I interrupted someone. Thank you. On LinkedIn, is it best to follow that person or connect with them? Because sometimes some people are not as engaged or be like, I don't know you, so I won't connect with you. So which one is better, to follow or connect?
You can follow. So I'm going to tell you my personal appetite. When I see someone is following me first and I get that notification, I watch like, oh, who is it? Makes me then go see, who is this? And if I like what I see, I may send it. There's no reason why you can't follow the company, follow the person. That's safe. It's free, right? Don't cost you nothing, right? Then when you're ready to execute, then you send that connections request. And in that request, you're going to say, hey, I am a registered vendor with Anderson Windows, and I see on the company page, y'all are doing this great thing. Would love to talk about it. Are you open to a quick call with me? Right? But you got to have some skin in the game. Tell them I'm a registered vendor. How good does that sound, Nelly? I'm a registered vendor. That makes Lisa think, oh my God, of course I've got to give you my time. You're registered with us, right? Like, say, that's why I want you to register first and not just show up empty-handed, okay? Other questions before we go?
I have a quick question.
Hey, Suzette. Yes.
Hello. I missed a huge chunk of this, and I know you typically post it afterwards. About how long would it be before you post the entire video?
Yes, it'll probably be, we'll post it by Monday, if not sooner, just for you, because we love y'all. And you guys, we're no longer posting this publicly. This is for ProcuraFind members only. So when we post it, we'll send the link to this whole group so y'all can go back and watch it. So that will be like Monday, Suzette, end of day Monday. Okay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Dr. Dawn-Nicole,
Yes.
Can I just pitch your book?
Yes, why do I keep, please pitch my book. What is wrong with me?
So for those of you who want to have it all in a nice package, Dr. Dawn-Nicole has written a book. Oh, look, Teresa's got it holding it up. And so you can purchase her book on Amazon. I don't know if you have other places that they can purchase it, but you just search Dr. Dawn-Nicole McIlwain and she'll come up. But it's all about this CARES program.
And